Hello, everybody. It's me again, Stephen Englander, with today's episode of Between the Spreadsheets. I've got with me as a guest today Kirk Mcbeth from Beeline Caravan Traders, and he's come on to tell how he's become so successful so quickly and how you can do better in your business. So, Kirk, thank you for joining me today.
No worries at all. Thank you.
You seem very young to have a business like this, because I know from experience that this it takes a long time to get something in holidays and caravans set up.
Yeah.
Tell me what you do. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah, so basically, obviously, I am very young in this industry, but yeah, we basically specialize in secondhand caravans. Is where we started.
Yeah.
So a lot of parks, you don't really have an option out. So if you buy a caravan and you look to sell it, your only option is to sell it back to the park, unless you're able to sell it yourself on Facebook. Is something which a lot of people aren't capable of doing that, unfortunately. Yeah. So that's how we started. There's a massive gap in the market. So yeah, we just took advantage of it. And then naturally, as people buy secondhand caravans and, you know, look to become owners on these parks, they want to let it out to cover the site fees, because site fees aren't getting cheaper, unfortunately. They're getting more expensive every year, and letting them out is sometimes you can make profit in a year. So, you know, a lot of people look to do it. So naturally came our Beeline Holiday Lets website.
Right. So is your business model, is it about a website, or do you own caravans and sell them on?
Yeah, so it really depends. I think our most popular thing is our website. We do tend to capitalize on different areas, which I think is where my young point of view comes, because I'm very high tech. The younger generation, obviously, we understand these things a lot more. No offense to anybody.
No. I'm just putting my tablet aside, you know, when I've got to chisel out messages. So I get it. It's done my back in every time I want to send someone a message.
It's difficult. You know, my father was the same. Obviously, I didn't start this by myself. You know, my dad's got years and years in the industry. Very, very popular. But he became very, very unwell. His last sales job, he went through a mental breakdown because of the amount of pressure. So it was his idea. But my dad on websites, he's one of these where it's like this, just a type of message kind of thing. So I got brought on board. And
so did you design your website?
Yeah, so initially I did.
It's very good. You've done it very professional. Yeah.
And then I did get somebody else to take it over and redo it completely.
Which is sensible. I mean, we talk all the time now, this brave new world. You've got to be online. You can have a multi-million-pound business online with a lot less aggravation. You've got to get online. So you got into this because of your dad?
Yes, I did.
Your dad wasn't too good, so you came into the rescue.
Yeah, basically. He was very unwell in hospital, so not that I didn't have any option, but somebody had to come in and run this for him. You know, he was very happy, you know, only selling 2 or 3 caravans a month.
Yeah.
You know, he'd already done his time. You know, he's near retirement, so it wasn't something he had to do, but he just wanted to keep busy. So
how is he? How's your dad now?
He's all right. He's still got a few mental issues, bless him. But it's one of them, isn't it? You know,
well, he must be very proud of you.
I hope so. There's a few arguments every day,
well, that's what you get with family businesses. You know, a lot of people do say that don't go into business with your families, but I found that the families that work build such a much stronger business, and the loyalty and the dedication goes way beyond anything else. You know, you drive each other forward, and like you've done, you step in when there's problems.
Exactly.
So thanks for telling us about yourself. I mean, we're going to put details of how to contact you if anybody out there wants a caravan or wants to rent a holiday let. Do contact Kirk and he'll look after you. But now let's just see of what advice you can give to other people, because it's always nice to have someone that's young on, and I say that because a lot of people that get older, like me, their experience comes from a lifetime of failing.
100%.
Yeah. So what we did, we've experienced it. It doesn't mean to say we're any cleverer, but somebody that's younger, that's making it, we've obviously distilled people with skill rather than people with determination. I mean, it's not a hard and fast rule, but you know, and then maybe you can talk a language that perhaps younger people can here that when they talk to me, they blank off. Yeah.
I'm guilty for it myself.
What, blanking off? Yeah.
My accountant, I was like switched off. Like,
well, my partner often says to me when she can't get to sleep, she says, "Tell me about your day." What can you do?
You're not that boring, I'm sure.
Do you know what? I wish someone that knew me better would say that, but thank you. So you know what? There's a few things. A few questions I think you can help me with. I'm sure you'll have an answer for them.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that customers become big fans of your business? What makes you pull them in and keep them in?
Do you know what? Honestly, I think that's something that I capitalize on really well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen our reviews on Facebook, for example. You know, they're not just
very
people
good
saying "well done." It's like big paragraphs about either myself or my father.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people are overlooking that at the minute.
No, it's brilliant.
And I do strive on being different and not your typical sales guy. No offense to anyone, but
no,
I'm not a person that will sell a caravan and then disappear. You know, even before I sell it to them, you got to build that trust.
Yeah.
Which, being a small company, you have to build your trust a lot more. You know, if you're going to buy a caravan off, I won't say any names, but a big brand, the trust's already there. So for me, it's building a relationship, caring more about them and remembering little things, like talking about their dog's name or their football team or all these little things to build this relationship and genuinely care. You know,
when I was your age, the motto was "Don't sell your product, sell yourself."
100%.
And I think last night I was talking about on the live show that we did on Thursday, and I was actually talking very similar to what you're saying now about branding. Branding is telling your story.
100%.
So I already feel, after talking to you for a few minutes, that if I was to go into wanting a caravan, I feel more comfortable because I'm talking to a person, to you.
100%.
And last night I was saying that, especially in today's age of the internet, you can the thing that smaller companies can do over the big brands like Tesco's and whatever is that you can brand yourself. They can't compete with that.
No.
And I think you're an example of what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So just going on to, so I mean, it's probably the same question, asking in a different way, but give me one or two things that separates your business from the competition. I think you've already answered it, but just a bit more. Is it a price thing?
Pricing, first of all, I think I can confidently say I am the cheapest supplier of sighted caravans in the UK.
Right.
Easily.
So that's a good point. I would disagree with you that pricing is the differentiating. I think you go back to what you said. It's you, your story, your brand, and 100%. I think if you do that, you can probably get a bit extra money. I think if people buy safety and confidence, they'll pay a little bit more, or at least market value.
Yeah.
So your company's been quite successful. I think it surprises you. One major key, is it the same thing? Is it you? Is it your story? What contributes to your success? What's working for you?
Probably determination, to be honest. You know, failure isn't an option. It never is.
What does that mean?
So we've made mistakes along the way. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, give me a juicy mistake. Go on, tell me.
Overheads would be a massive thing.
What, jumping into something that perhaps you're not ready for?
Yeah, because we've always wanted to portray ourselves. We've basically, because my father's worked in holiday parks for many years, we wanted to do things differently. You know, we've spent thousands and thousands of pounds getting to where we are today to have the best setup possible. You know, we've got a luxury showroom, we've got everything that we'll ever need to grow. You know,
so perhaps too much investment too soon.
Possibly, yeah, I'd say that, yeah, definitely. Obviously, it's paid off now, but in the start, our monthly outgoings were quite big. You know, won't go into any figures, but it's not.
No, I think 1 in 3 businesses fail in the first year because of this, because of cash flow, and I think 1 in 5 after that fail in the first 5 years.
Yeah,
and it's mainly cash flow that businesses fail on.
100%.
You know, I mean, you mentioned earlier that you also have a cleaning company.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, naturally came the holiday let side of the business. Now, cleaning just has to come inside. We want to set the standard, basically. So with the cleaning side, it's going under massive investment at the minute. So we've got like a laundry in-house with commercial equipment. It's quite impressive, to be fair. So, you know, we're striving to be different and do everything in-house, which for us just maximizes our profits.
Yeah.
You know, I know it sounds really silly, but bed linen is possibly our biggest earner.
It doesn't. It's called clustering.
Yeah.
That's the term. What if you look at a big example of clustering? You had Wall's ice cream. Do you remember Wall's ice cream?
Yeah.
And their sales were massive in the summer, but not so much in the winter. So they figured that they've got the vans, the refrigeration vans. They've got the customers.
Yeah.
You know, and they've got the factories. They just needed a slightly different type of equipment. But the important things that make the business work, logistics, sales, customers, they had all of that. So they went into sausages. So Wall's Bangers, Wall's
Didn't
ice
know
creams.
that.
Yeah. But you see, that goes on all the time because you're doing it. You've already got the facilities, you've got the customers. So yeah, bringing in something else that they need. And instead of it being an expense, you're turning it into a cost center, into a profit center. So there is a name for it, and it's something that everybody should look at. You know, what services they're providing that they could increase without really increasing too much overhead.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, an initial investment in equipment, okay, you get that back.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So thanks for demonstrating that. You know, there's a lot of people out there, especially it's not even just people that are younger now, but the state of the economy, there's a lot of people starting off in business, and there's going to be more in the next year or two. And so for any of our viewers that's starting out or just thinking of starting out, have you got any advice for them?
Yeah, well, as I said, keep your overheads to an absolute bare minimum.
Yeah.
You can learn from myself. You know, I started in my house with my dad in literally the music room with 2 desks. That's how we started, using the house phone as well as our business mobile.
So you have a music room. Is that, do you play music, or is it just listening?
I don't know. It just had a big piano in it. My sister used to play. We haven't actually mentioned it. My sister runs a lot of the holiday let side of things. So
No, that's brilliant. So what you're saying here is, when your number comes up, if anybody's thinking of starting a business and they want a bit of advice, you're available to help.
Always.
There we go.
I think you can learn a lot from it, you know.
Well, your number's coming up now. So if you don't want to speak to me, who is a proper business professional, and you want to speak to this young whippersnapper, then feel free.
Yeah,
you know, better looking than me, so I do get it.
Yeah, you can get me on LinkedIn as well. It's usually the best place for me.
There you go. So we're here not just to give you help and advice and help you set up a wonderful holiday home, but we can help you set up your business properly as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I mean things are always changing today. I think that, you know, staying abreast of things.
Yeah.
How do you do it? How do you keep on top of things?
I think we just reinvest a lot, to be honest. You know, like with the cleaning side of things, we got like a completely bespoke app coming out soon.
Okay.
So for like a caravan owner, they can download the app, book a clean, and not even have to message us, you know.
Just amazing.
Yeah, so we're going to revolutionize the cleaning industry next. You know, it's going to be a game changer. Trust me, you can see it when it's all done.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. But there's a lesson for everybody listening as well. Embrace technology. What can you do with technology? But in terms of day-to-day management, we use a system called Salesforce, a CRM system, client relationship management system, and it gives me tasks to remind me to do things. Yeah. Do you have something like that?
Recently though, to be honest, because sometimes I get so busy that a lot of my customers will hate me for this as well. You know, I struggle getting back to people. Yeah. And being so young and a bit naive, I guess. Yeah. You know, it's something that I'm really bad at, and I keep forgetting. I think I don't forget, but I do.
No, it's a common problem, Kirk. It's something that I still have, because you can sometimes be a victim of your own success, and you just don't have time to talk to people. 100%. So I've set up a concierge team to answer the phones, and you know, I just jump on things that need to be jumped on. Unfortunately, it's not everyday courtesies. You know, I mean, even someone just saying hi, how are you? It takes time, and it's not that you don't. I mean, I had this guy once. He was a bit of a pain. You get them, and for weeks he'd been trying to contact me, and I'd been avoiding him. And he phoned me one day, and I thought, I better get this call out of the way. Another hour out of my day gone. And he just said, you know what? I've been trying to get hold of you all week. I'm beginning to think you don't want to talk to me. I just said, I have no problem talking to you. It's listening.
Yeah. Sure.
Sorry,
It's so difficult. It really is. And a lot of customers don't understand, because like we explained earlier, my way of selling is giving that personal touch.
yeah,
On the negative side of that is I have to be there to answer these calls.
Yeah.
So I can't give them this personal touch. And then when it
No.
comes to the nitty gritty bit of it, which is like the negotiating and that,
Yeah.
I'm always out on park selling. I can't be in the office
No.
and do all the paperwork when I'm still out selling.
Absolutely. Well, what I do, what I try and tell people is list and measure the things that take up your time.
Yeah.
And then sort of put them into two groups. You put them in the groups that you have to attend to that are important, and things that you can delegate to somebody else to do or even automate. You've got lots of things like that going on, and then you can look at where the value is. And sometimes you've got to make some sacrifices, but that's when, as we grow, we make a bigger turnover, but perhaps marginally less money in percentage terms, because we've got more overheads. We've got to bring people in to answer the phone. We've got to do that sort of thing. So it's people have got to decide whether they want a big business where they manage people and they manage a business, or whether they want to keep it so that they're more hands-on and enjoy the business they're in. But we all do it. Something sometimes I ask people is, why do you get up in the morning? What makes you get out of bed? To me, it's my partner wanting to make it. But why do you get out of bed in the morning? What makes you jump off the sheets and sing and dance? And
I know it sounds silly, but money is my motivation, and
it's good. It's a good motivation.
I
don't believe that, because your site's too good. There's too much soul in this business. But money's a perfectly good motivation.
It is, and it sounds really bad and cliche, but the business is my life, kind of thing. A lot of my mates are going out on the weekend enjoying themselves.
I used to be around the country delivering bags and fancy goods, and that's the business I was in, while my friends were going out having a good time. I remember going on a Valentine's Day once for a dance, and I fell asleep. It was my second date with this girl. I just fell asleep. Anyway, so how would you motivate people? So we've got people watching this, and they, another day. How would you motivate them to talk to those people who don't want to talk to muck out the stables, to go giving leaflets out? How would you motivate people?
Well, again, I'm pretty guilty of it. If there's that person that you don't want to speak to, the sooner you get out of the way. Like, I lose sleep if I don't speak to them.
There you go. It plays on your mind. I do the same. So I suppose it can be just putting the day in a positive, like, put yourself in that person's shoes, which is and then it stops being such a chore, and you think, maybe let's see what he's got to say. Well, how many people have watched my video? So do you ever get any rejections and setbacks? Do you ever get that on a occasion? And how would you deal with it? What advice would you give to people to deal with
it's
that?
Just part of it. If you're starting a business and you're looking to run a business, it isn't just sunshine. It's not gonna be. You got to understand that if you're not willing to put in the work, there's going to be another business that will be willing to do it.
Absolutely.
So you've got to keep on your toes, and you got to be positive in business. You can't run a business being negative about things. Glass is always half full. If there's a setback,
no, it's a good. You don't take anything personally. It's not about you.
It's not.
It's just and people, when they do complain, they're usually complaining about a situation and put it right, and they're your best friend. Sometimes you can make the best friends and the best advocates for your business 100%. By sorting out a problem rather than get it right firsthand.
So a lot of the times with me is basically the biggest rejection I can get is that somebody decides to buy off the park and not me. But instead of getting sour about it, I can phone them and say, no issues, but remember about my letting service and my cleaning service. And we do tend to become friends. It's not about that. The word of mouth is the biggest advertiser. This person can turn around and say, I didn't buy off him, but he was great, and he was
No, that's very true. Now, I know that a lot of businesses, this is going somewhere else, and you'll either go, or you go, no. One of the biggest problems people have in growing a business or even running a business are staff. How do you find with that?
It's tricky. Actually, my admin just handed in a notice, bless her. So Yeah, we're on the look for staff now. It's tricky, but one thing that I've looked at doing now, especially with the cleaning side, is with this app coming out, we're allowing like a self-employed basis. So these people can download the app and I can send them a cleaning job and they can choose whether to accept it or not.
Good idea. Good idea.
We need to think differently about staff these days, I think.
Yeah, you're right. I've been reading that as well. I'm seeing it coming up that it's going to be a what they call it, a gig economy.
It is.
Yeah, I can see it happening. I can see. I've got key staff that want to be employed. They want the normal traditional employment, but I've also got people coming through asking if they can just have jobs as and when they want.
I think furlough is going to be a big hit for people looking staff and people that have had to go on universal credits.
Yeah,
people are going to get accustomed to this now, and
I agree.
It's going to be tricky to get people that are willing to work. You know, I employ a lot of the younger generation. Obviously, being young myself, you know, we've got a 19-year-old that's going to be stepping up to my admin position. So,
right.
You know, I think it's important looking at the younger generation and trying to train them up instead of getting somebody that's already experienced,
and not as just a source of perhaps food where we can chop them up and eat them. you think they're good enough to employ, you know. So how you know, in this sort of environment, and how do you keep your sanity? How do you keep that humor going? How do you just
it's tricky. You know, I've been really guilty of it this past year, you know, because we're in this holiday industry in North Wales, in the sticks.
Yeah.
There is nothing apart from holiday and tourism around here, you know.
No.
And like, seriously, I've been really bad at it this year, and a lot of customers have had to just turn around and apologize, you know, because you know, we started from a winter, which is my down period, going into like 3 months of trading, and then March going into lockdown, and I lost all motivation. Seriously, like, not even getting out of bed in the morning, because it's like, why am I bothering if my business is in Drakeford's hands, kind of thing, you know? And it's tricky, you know. All I'm doing now is looking forward to next year.
No, it's not uncommon. One of our coaches is a guy called Chaz, and he's actually a stress consultant.
Yeah.
So we you know, it's so everybody. You know, I've got a friend of mine. We're going to do a podcast next week to get it out there, but he's actually setting up a stress management group, a counselling group, like where he wants to do it just for men. He doesn't want women in, because women never stop moaning. No, he feels that men have got nowhere to talk, and don't often talk about the feelings of stress, and he wants to form this group, and I think it could be a good idea. So maybe you'll come along and give your experiences as well.
Definitely, you know, even with my father as well. He's a big
of course, yes,
Belfast man. Kick yourself up the arse and get on with it. That was always his motto. And now he's battling depression worse than I've ever seen, you know.
Must be awful for the family. And
it is, it's difficult, but, you know, as I said, he was a big Belfast, even louder than I am, kind of thing, you know, and he's struggling now. And I think, as you said, men speaking out is only really happening this year, to be honest.
It's a big thing. So there you go. We go from business to depression to holidays to cleaning.
It's not what business leads to, we promise.
No, it isn't. But it does put you on the spot. It does challenge you. So anyway, we're running out of time now. So I want to thank you very much for coming on, Kirk.
No worries at all.
You know, everybody out there, if you want to contact Kirk either for a bit of impartial advice, or you want a caravan, or you want a holiday, or you just want to see what's going on, then feel free to contact Kirk directly. And if you sort of want to speak to Kirk but are a bit shy, or you want to query about any things we talked about on this program, come to me direct. And don't forget to go onto the YouTube account and ring the bell, so I can send you messages to reminders to come onto our live show and anything else that's interesting. And of course, if you do want to appear on the show and you've got anything interesting to say, then by all means do contact me. But thank you for joining me, and thank you, Kirk. And I'm going to sign off. See you next time. Bye-bye.